Alright, good morning YouTube. I'm making this video because I just want to address the comment that was made. I happened to get up and check my email and I saw that there was a comment on one of my videos. And of course, I'm always happy to receive comments because it means that somebody actually watched. Now, the downside of that is you don't really know why the person watched. Like I said, like old school Rockwell, he had this song, I can always feel like somebody's watching me. These days it's probably true. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know why the person left a comment. It could be, I mean, it could be any number of reasons. Now, I want to give props to the person that left the comment because one, I didn't check out the person's profile or anything like that, but the person actually had a picture on the a thumbnail of himself, so that means that that person actually has a legitimate page somewhere around here. But I was a little disappointed. Well, not disappointed, but I felt a need to express my truth regarding this person's comment. And let me see if I can find it. It was on my dream correlation video. And again, maybe it's based on the content that was there, but I'm just addressing the comment without putting all of the surrounding factors in place. Just my initial response to it. So if I offend, forgive me. He says, "You're beautiful, but you probably already knew that since you made the video with the long hair popping and all." And this is an African American male. And again, I want to talk about race relations, mixed race, and that type of thing. The first thing that I just wanted to address is, you know, I mean, it's just so many different aspects of this right now. But the first of it, my response to this person, my response to this person was, and again, it's to me, it's a touchy subject because his comment in itself said a lot. You're beautiful, hair popping or whatever like that. And so, what this addresses to me is the thing about, black men and maybe men in general that got this thing for, not demonizing that, but this thing for quote unquote long hair. Um, by standards of just females in general, looking at all women together, my hair is medium to long length, and it's like woman's beauty. It should not be measured on that. But my response to him basically was that I am beautiful, and I know that because God or whatever the spirit that exists in love, truth, and humility is inside of me, made me a peaceful, loving, kind, humble, and honest person. And my hair has nothing to do with it. I mean, I had a situation when I was like 18 or 19 where my hair, I guess I'm biracial. And really that doesn't have anything to do with it. But people normally think that if you are biracial, that your hair grows longer or there's a different texture or whatever. And that may or may not be true, But I remember this video kind of ties in, the comment kind of ties into race relations with that too. I kind of remember when I was maybe about 26 or 27. My hair had grown twice. My hair has grown back to the length it was when I was little. Like I think I was like maybe 21. It was down to my behind, and then 28, 26 or something like that, it was down to my behind again. And the first the first hair comment that I wanted to make was that when I was 18, 19, 20, whatever age I was when my hair had grown down to my behind, I remember my hair has almost always been natural. Maybe I think when I was like 12, one of my neighbors tried to relax my hair because she thought I had to be black, and then I had somebody maliciously relax my hair without permission when I was 28, and I went into a salon just to have it flat ironed because I was supposed to be a treat for myself. Every once in a blue moon, I would go to get it professionally flat ironed. And so, not that it did any different than me doing it myself, but it just felt good to go do it. And so, the incident when I was like 21, again, my hair had grown really, really long. I was away at school. It wasn't 21, I was like 18, 19. But I was away at school. My hair had grown really ridiculously long. I mean, curly, it was down to the top of my hips. So, flat iron, it was much longer than that. And when I used to flat iron it, people would be like, from the back, I thought you were Asian or something like that. Now, um, the thing about race relations hair, black girls, um, when my hair was curly, I guess it was curlier. For some reason, my hair has different textures at different times. It was curlier at the top, which, my hair is actually finer at the top, and that's why the person did such a good job of burning it out when I was older. But she says, oh, you need to hurry up and get a perm before they find out. And I looked at her and I was like, before they find out what? You know, before they find out, I guess she was saying that, my hair gets kinky sometimes. But so what? That's my hair. Sometimes it's curly, sometimes it's wavy, sometimes it's afro, sometimes it's kinky. I mean, that's my hair. Why do I need to hide what my hair is? you know. So when you're looking at people and you're calling them beautiful and you're calling them beautiful based on physical attributes, that's just a snapshot of where they are right then and there. You know what I'm saying? The next time you could see someone, they could be totally different. It's a physical appearance thing. It has to do with chemistry of your body, makeup of your body, your environmental situations, your financial status, and sometimes just nature. Nature takes over and be like, I don't care what you do, this is what it's going to look like. Mental status, emotional status. So, don't judge people whether you feel that it's a compliment or not. When you're older, and this is going back to what I said in my video about being an adult, people, the system and society puts adult content as, things that relate to nudity, maturity, sex, violence, all these things. That's not adult content. That's just raucous, sinful, nasty behavior, you know? And what really should be considered adult, and what I'm bringing a call to you to be an adult about, is that when you consider maturity, when you consider somebody's beauty, or what you consider to be beautiful, question yourself on that. You know, it is your responsibility to determine what the beauty really is. And it's nothing physical, because that could change from one moment to the next. God forbid, anything can happen. My appearance has changed over the years. I've had different things happen. This big old gap, this hair that, was intentionally damaged by someone. So never judge a beautiful black woman by the outside appearance. Judge her by the content of her character. These days, those things can be manufactured. You know what I'm saying? And, with the times as it is, I mean, you don't never know what's going to happen. So when you see a woman as beautiful, please, or you see something as successful, or whatever other adjectives that you want to put in that you think is positive, that people should, because when you think of something as positive, I'm thinking you think that there should be more people like that, or more situations like that. But when you make those base judgments, make sure that it's based on content of character. It's nice that you appreciate what's on the outside, but that's not forever. That somebody, you could say that to me, and somebody up the street could be like, F that, whatever, and do something. You know what I'm saying? And things like that have happened to me. You know what I'm saying? Don't judge people based on the outside. Judge them based on the inside. And as an adult, I feel you have the true meaning of adult. Don't go by society's meaning, but the true meaning of an adult is to actually have some wisdom, to see that it's not about the superficial. It's not about what's on the outside at all. I'm glad that you saw something that you thought was beautiful. But, I got to get real with it. It's real out there. You need to look past that. You need to look past that. It's so many things that could happen that could change that. Again, back to what I was saying, physical things can be taken away and these days manufactured. And again, if you see anything beautiful and you're looking at anything other than my spirit, what you're seeing is a mirage. It's counterfeit perception, and it's a system manufactured perception of what beauty is. If you can't close your eyes and feel the presence of the beauty through content, you should sincerely question what your perception of beauty is. If it's superficial, then it's easily manufactured. Somebody else can change your perception of it. Somebody can come to you and whisper in your ear, oh, that girl is ugly, or oh, because perceptions are easily managed. You need to judge a person by content of their character, and that only can be determined by you taking some time to listen, to see what's coming from the inside. You know, again, like I said, perception is so easily manufactured because, I might have things that may appear to be attractive, but somebody that's hating can come along and whisper and put something in your ear and turn it completely around. So what I'm asking you to do, sir, is if you get a chance, you know, you know, go above and beyond just being a common man, and actually listen to some of what I'm saying. Some of what I'm saying um, actually has a lot of purpose and meaning, you know. And if you ever happen to bump into me, in the street or in person, then you can truly say to yourself, okay, I know, and all my information on here is real. I know Maria. I know, she's a good person. These are, and this is what this young woman's young. I'm still young, y'all. But this is what this one young woman's goals, dreams, aspirations, hopes, fears, are, I know Maria, and I want you to know, and this is why I post videos, I want you to know who I am. I'm a person that has had all types of things said, about me, you know, and, placed on paper and documented, and I want you to know Maria Willoughby. I want you to know who I am as an individual. I want you to know what's important to me. And in turn, people that take time to comment and send messages and things like that, I want to know about you. I want to know what's important to you, what makes you tick. Because, my general interests are arts and education and the humanities. I want to know people's stories, you know. We all have a human life and it's just so rich. And, I can't begin to tell you how much I enjoy it. But again, if you can, judge, you know, take time to get to know my content, and judge me based on that. And I'm glad, again, not to take away from, maybe what your perception of what you see is visually, but just be mindful that perceptions are easily manipulated. What you see from one moment may be different the next. It can be changed by, me, my moods, my whatever. It can be changed by somebody whispering something into your ear. Because when you look at a person, you can see anything that you choose to see, whether it's good or bad. Okay? If you choose to. For example, the next person you see on the street, if somebody, think of somebody that you really love and admire. You can easily think of all the good things. But if there's a lot of negativity surrounding that person, it's manufactured. If you chose to, you could see all the bad things. Like I could look at, I'm just gonna pick a celebrity. I know there are people too, but I'm gonna pick Beyonce because I love her a lot. I think she's a strong, hardworking, determined woman. I've never seen her say anything rude or disgraceful to anybody. And not only that, I've seen her human side, which just like any other average woman, she's had men come to her the wrong way. And she, I knew it was an uncomfortable situation because I've been in that situation, and she handled it appropriately, the best that she could. I saw her vulnerabilities. But if I chose to look at bad things, I could be like, oh, I could pick out, if I really wanted to find something wrong, I could. I could look at one of her videos and be like, oh, how could she make her video where she's selling to people and she's sweating all over the place, or her weave doesn't look as good or whatever. And the girl don't even need weave, but you could choose to see good or bad. So you're choosing to see good right now because it's easy. Just like your life and your life situations, you can choose to see good or bad. And like my life, I really enjoy it thoroughly. That's why it's good to have your private moments so you can actually enjoy it without all the forces of the world coming to you telling you that, oh, it's just such a doom-filled place and all that. Take time to enjoy what you can out of life. But again, perception's easily managed. Those are my hair stories. My last hair story was when I was like 28. Again, like I said, I went somewhere to go get a flat iron. Just flat iron. The lady begged me to put the conditioner in my hair. She said it was free. It wasn't a conditioner. It was an unmixed perm. Burned my hair out. I sat in the chair. And I was like, oh, it's burning. She says, oh, no, it's tingling. I went over and bent over the sink, and all of the hair just fell right out. Never grew back. I still have these short knobs. So what you see is just, your mind's desire to make an illusion. And I'm glad you think that I'm beautiful. That's a start, because if you see that on the outside, you can rest assured that it's all natural, and it's coming from what's on the inside. But be mindful that all of that can change. And if all of that goes away that you like, I want you to still be able to say that's a beautiful woman. So anyways, God bless. I'm gone because I got other stuff I got to do. But thank you very much for your comment.